I'm Renee Cordes with The Deal in Brussels, joined today by Manfred Bergmann, Director of Indirect Taxation with the European Commission. Thank you very much for being here. The Commission has proposed a tax on financial transactions. What is the reason for this proposal? And what does it seek to achieve?
Yeah, the goal is definitely not banker bashing. The goal is definitely not taxing pensioners or small savers. It's about taxing financial transactions. It's mainly to be paid by those who are churning assets very frequently. It's mainly to be paid by those who are churning derivatives very frequently. And it's in principle trying to implement a good principle of sound fiscal policy, which is that those who have benefited from a policy, the provision of a public good, such as rescue operations, should also be those who are paying for it. So it is perceived as fair by the general public, and also more and more economists are warming up to this kind of idea of having a transaction tax in Europe and, of course, preferably at the global world.
This tax is supported by 11 EU member states. The United Kingdom is not among them. It has concerns that the measure will do harm to its financial markets. Are those concerns justified?
Well, I'm a little bit astonished by the position and the change in the position and the logic in the UK's arguments. Because initially when the Commission made a proposal for EU27, they always said, or the UK said, we don't want to participate because it's harmful for those who are participating and beneficial for those who are not participating because all business will relocate there. Now they are not participating and they are saying, well, this is bad for us. So the logic behind this is not clear. Of course, the agenda is very clear. The UK does not want to have an FTT. It does not want to have an FTT harmonized, coordinated at the European level. And that is what it is about. Coordination, harmonizing a tax on financial transactions at the European level. And when there were discussions on a compromise proposal back in 2012, they even said, please don't impose our stamp duty on us when we were discussing a compromise along the UK stamp duty proposal.
Now, 11 member states do support this proposal. However, their own legal advisors, the Council's legal advisors, raised some concerns about it, saying the plan goes too far and it discriminates against non-participating countries. Will the Commission issue its own response to these concerns?
We will, of course, issue also a written response to this in the margins of the working party of the Council that is dealing with it. But to be honest, I'm a little bit surprised by this argument, which is also an argument put forward by the UK, because after all, we have this proposal on the table for almost 2 years now. And the proposal we have tabled in March this year was similar to the proposal we tabled in September. At that time, nobody claimed that it is having illegal extraterritorial effects, that is discriminating. We think it's simply applying a well-established principle in international taxation, such as in VAT. Those who serve a market have to pay the tax.
The discussions are ongoing among the 11 countries who have said they would support this proposal. Is the Commission doing anything to move the discussions along? Because sometimes tax proposals can linger quite a while in Brussels, as you know.
They typically linger quite a while for several years until they have a sudden death or a quiet death. But here we have a very dynamic file because it's a very popular proposal as well, because the general public thinks there should be such a tax. And already after half a year, the Council agreed that they couldn't agree, so it opened the way for this enhanced cooperation for a smaller group to go ahead. And now for us, it's the normal proposal. So we have tabled a proposal, we will defend it, we will push that it will be adopted by the 11. But on top of this, we also have to make sure that the other 16 or 17 not participating will not be harmed by this. That is new in this element, but that's all. And we expect that by April next year, before the European elections, we will see a compromise tax emerging.
And so if there is a tax that emerges, then when could the tax take effect the earliest?
Yeah, it depends when they will really agree on every small print. If that was still happening before the summer of next year, then after 6 months, it could have been introduced in member states and business would have had enough time to adjust its business models to the new tax. So by the 1st of January 2015 would be a good guess here.
Thanks very much for joining us. This is Renee Cordes for The Deal in Brussels, and we've been speaking to Manfred Bergmann of the European Commission.